Alright people, welcome to the first episode of the Boys in Green podcast. I'm Joshua and we're just going to be talking about everything to do with Celtic, and I'm joined by Nathan as well.
Alright lads.
Now I just want to kind of start the podcast asking your thoughts on the January transfer window.
Very lacklustre. I think there's easily 3 positions that Celtic need to fill, and with the signing of Nicholas Kuhn I just don't think it's enough quality.
What positions do you think?
Easily left back, goalie and striker, but left back and goalie's a summer signing, I would say. I'd say a strike for Celtic to go in the next half of the season ready to accept one striker. It's ridiculous.
Because at the moment, obviously, always about the Asian Cup with Korea. Sorry, I said Japan there. But so I think it's dead important that we need to get a striker in, but we've only got a week left to get a striker in, so
You don't want to rush it.
You don't want to rush it, but if we could have done this at the start of the window. That's the problem. You knew we needed a striker.
Yeah, but January's always a hard window to shop in, isn't it?
But my main issue is with that excuse. That excuse gets used every single January when Celtic don't get what they need.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is you've got to realise that other teams don't want to lose quality as well.
I get that, but I beg to differ in terms of, if you want a player, you need to pay the money, and Celtic don't do that.
Yeah, I know, but what's the point of rushing quality? You want to make sure it's the right player, as Rodgers is saying. Now, is that a cover-up for the board not backing him, or is that just the truth?
Because they brought, it could be either or, but I'm going with the latter. I think it's a bit of a cover-up to cover up the bad window where it's been, but I just think we're covering old ground when it comes to Rodgers, because this is why he left in the first time he was here, and we thought at the start when he came back that they would learn for that, but it's clear we have no learned for that.
I know, but I mean, the thing is Rodgers, as much as people talk about backing Rodgers, and I agree, but Rodgers' management style, he's a coach. He coaches players, he develops players. You know, that's down to him to develop the players that have already here, and there's enough potential to develop. But I get we need to add positions, but he's a coach.
Because when Rodgers first came back, obviously it was a bit of a controversial appointment because of how he left the first time, but I just thought we're getting a top class manager, which I think Rodgers is. People might disagree with that, but I just think he's a top class manager.
His like accolades speak for
himself. You don't do what he done with Leicester and nearly win the league with Liverpool if you're not a top class manager.
Aye, but you look at the situation at Leicester and people say, oh well, he got sacked. That's all the rubbish. He got them to top 4 twice, and the King Power went bankrupt basically after COVID. Aye.
And I just think, I thought when Rodgers, and I honestly, maybe I was sold because of the whole press conference, and Rodgers is very good with words, as we've seen, but I just was thought, well, we've got a top class manager and they're going to learn from their mistakes, and we're going to get players in. And the summer window was awful. There's no really any words to describe it. The amount of players that have not played that we've signed in that window was just no good enough.
Well, I mean, right, you think of it, right, there's only really been one mainstay in the team for that summer, and it's been Lewis Palmer. Right. And obviously you've got your injuries that Rodgers can't obviously expect. I mean, half his team being injured. You know, Vickers has been out. He said in the press conference yesterday, Liam Scales has been the most consistent player. Like, Vickers and Naroski have both been out, and obviously Scales has came in, looked absolutely unbelievable and stuck his claim.
I think the centre half position, I think, is largely down to Liam Scales, and he's been superb this season. I think
best player at Celtic currently, I think, by far this season.
Matt really for me.
McGregor as well in terms of quality. Aye. You know, see when McGregor's on form, he can influence any game, and I personally believe that he could walk into any mid-table top 6 Premier League.
I think Rodgers talks a lot about quality, which obviously fans want to hear, but they talk a lot about quality, but you're not seeing the quality coming in, and that seems just something's not adding up.
Yeah, but I would rather us take time than rush it, because do you really think that if we got a left back in currently, it'd be up to the standard that Rodgers is wanting? Because teams don't want to lose quality players in the middle of their campaign.
I do get that. Also, I think it's, but I just think that obviously Greg Taylor's now injured, so is it becoming a necessity that we go out for a left back, or do we put Liam Scales into that left back position, because I know a lot of fans have called for that to happen, but
I mean, people forget we can also switch to 3 because in Canada, Alistair Johnson plays centre back for them in a 3 with Davis, and I couldn't tell you the other two.
I don't watch Canadian football.
I don't watch Canadian football, but you know, there's options there. Obviously, Big Mike Naroki has came in, looked outstanding. I think his passing range is
slow, but
he's dead slow, but the size of his legs, you know, like he can like reach. Like I believe that there's options in that centre half position, but I do believe like every top team needs 3 strikers.
We've only got one.
And we've only got one
at the moment, because obviously it owes away the Asian Cup with Korea, not Japan. But so, and it looks like Korea will get quite far in that tournament as well.
Jurgen Klinsmann's got them played some really good football.
Probably some of the best players in Asia.
Who's that player that plays for PSG? He's been outstanding.
Is that Kwan Lee or something?
Kwan Lee, Son, obviously. And
so it does look like Korea are going to get quite far, which obviously isn't good for Celtic, because it means O's going to Owen Yang's. I forgot about Yang actually being away as well.
And Japan have qualified as well.
Japan have qualified.
So is Australia, isn't it? Australia's qualified, so tell you.
I'll tell you, but the forgotten man.
Don't disrespect the wee man.
No, but for me, you can't go about having one striker, because if Kyogo gets injured, God help us.
And let's not be a bit the bush here. Kyogo's not been good enough this season either.
If you're talking about Kyogo standards, and Kyogo sets his standards really high, but because that's the thing. Players like Martinelli and Kyogo and Vickers, your big players, they set the standard really high, and when they're not reaching that standard, same with points with Callum McGregor. Like Callum McGregor,
start of the season looked burnt out,
but at the same time, in those Rangers games, he was.
It was outstanding. Best player on the pitch by far.
He ran the show. So I think we need to see a striker. If we get to the deadline next week. And there's no at least 2 strikers at Celtic, I'd be worried, because
we're going to get to the point where we're going to need to play somebody else up front that isn't a striker. Like Palmer will probably need Abada or Palmer will need. Well, there's talk that Abada could be going out on loan. So I mean, who knows now? I mean, what if Celtic accept that so-called massive bid for Atletico, which is a loan for an obligation to buy? Because Rodgers has clearly came out and stated that he doesn't want him to go, but if he goes,
talk about Mario.
Because if he goes, then we clearly know what it's down to.
Well, because obviously the press conference for Saturday's game came out obviously yesterday. It was pretty clear saying he's not gone anywhere. But so I don't see Mario leaving this window. I think Celtic would be for me. Mario's league defining. He either wins your league or loses your league.
No, but I mean, to counteract that, right, the amount of money that Celtic can turn down, like if an offer comes in and a certain amount that Celtic can turn down.
They've turned down Atletico Madrid, which with that offer you can't, a loan up with an obligation to buy, you can't take that gamble, because there's a £60 million Champions League money into the season because of the new format.
So the Swiss format.
So, but part of me really at this point is I've lost a lot of faith and trust in the board, because I don't think they'll make the right decisions for the club at this point. So
what would be your priority
at the moment?
Would it be get another striker or get a left back?
So like if we can get one more signing, pretty much.
Yeah.
It has to be a striker, because we've only got Kyogo at the moment, and even when O comes back, O splits opinion. Splits opinion, because sometimes O can, really. He can once maybe score a few goals, but
all works for the team. Gets his back.
He pushes his weight about. That's what I can say about him.
Would you say? Because I've heard a lot of people saying O's a bit like a journeyman, where he'll come on, put the best shift in, and then that's that.
I think the thing with O is that we've never really never seen that consistent run
in the team.
Or even in the team, but when he's been in the team, I've not seen that consistent run of goals.
He misses a lot of chances.
So for me, it's a striker. It has to be left back.
There's enough options there.
I know it happens as well a lot in windows. When it gets to the end, people and I'm guilty of this myself, and probably a lot of fans are, but when it gets to the end of windows, fans just seem to accept you know, the expectations get lower. So last week we're like, we need a left back. Now we've got enough in the position, which
I wouldn't be happy. Obviously, I'm not happy with Bernabei as a backup, right? But the thing is I look at it from a standpoint where it's I think Celtic could get 2 signings in before the end of the window.
No,
probably not, because the way Rodgers was talking yesterday was very. It came off sort of passive aggressive to me.
I think it came off to me as saying it's the same excuse book, and I'm not having a go at Rodgers here because I think if Rodgers could get what he wanted, then Rodgers would have brought the players in.
He did say it's a process though.
And I think that's the whole process thing I get, but at the same time I just think he's trying to basically, as you said, in a passive aggressive manner, basically say, here, wait a minute.
Do you think fans are too impatient?
No, because, and this is the thing, and you can talk a lot about, obviously, I don't think fans are impatient, but if you're waiting 3 weeks for your first signing in the January window,
true.
Which, to be fair, I know it was obviously with Kuhn, it was on the Rapid Vienna side, they basically told Celtic, you're not getting him until we get a replacement in, so Celtic can't do much about that.
Yeah.
But I think fans are entitled to want signings and want players when you've the players who are there, you know, your Bernabe's, your McCarthy's, and you know,
Deadwood.
You know, players that have been here for a while now, especially McCarthy. I honestly don't know how that guy's
he's on a decent wage.
And that's the thing,
well.
he's on a decent wage as well. Honestly, I just think fans are a bit sick of it now because the recruitment of the last, since probably Ange's first season.
Do you think this is a question to you, right? Do you think the scouts are overrated, or do you think it was Ange that came in and went, I want this guy, or do you think it was the scouting team that went, right, we'll get him? Right. Because Celtic would never in a million years dream to shop in the Japanese market if it wasn't for Big Ange.
I think, especially if you're talking about the Japanese, like the J League, that has to be Ange for me. I think Kyogo, that's an Ange sign. He even said that was his guy. And obviously it's worked out well because Kyogo's came and he's been brilliant since. But
best striker since Larson.
In my opinion, he is. But maybe that's just.
You could argue Big Mister.
I've not seen strikers.
He's a big Kyogo fanboy, by the way, in case you don't know, because see, this is what annoys me about fans like him, right? He will never criticise Kyogo when he misses a sitter. See, when we're at the game, Kyogo misses, he'll get another chance, but see, as soon as somebody else like Palmer misses a chance, it's abuse. Well, that's what annoys me.
No, but I think the recruitment have been very much just. I think they were lucky under Ange because Ange had the J League to basically go to. Obviously brought in Hatate and Maida. Maida was obviously his signing as well because he worked with him at Marinos. So it's hard to judge because, you know, players like Abada, that's a scouting signing. It was actually Neil Lennon that signed Lil Abada, surprisingly. Obviously just came in when Ange was a manager, and then obviously Jota, Carter, Vickers, the scouting team are looking at them.
But then you've got to look at this window. The end of this window is going to be key to look at the players like Vickers and Jota when they come in. Celtic fans were moaning there were hardly any like reality to like the links with Jota and Vickers, but then they came in on deadline day loans, and you know we've seen how they turned out.
Obviously Jackie Marcus as well.
I forgot
three of them on the same day, in fact.
Yeah, it was three of them.
And so
we can always hope.
I'm not saying that we're not going to sign any player known Celtic. It'll be midnight, and it'll be like the almost with that tweet.
It's 10 hour.
Don't go to bed yet, Celtics or something, man. It'll be some tweet or something, and then we'll sign up, and it'll be
but if
off scale or something.
Exactly. But if we come to this podcast next week and there've been no signings, then there's definitely got to be questions asked of the ambition with the Celtic board and where they want us to go in the future. And
I've been really critical of the Celtic board for a while. Probably could tell that, to be honest. But I don't see where their ambition is for Celtic. Domestically, can't fault them domestically. We've been the dominant team in Scotland.
But that's not enough.
Not enough.
See when Rangers went into administration, I think that was the real chance for Celtic to basically kick into gear and go, you know what, we're going to do what Bayern Munich done, and we're going to progress, even though obviously Bayern Munich are on the den as well, you know. But that's what they done. They just put their foot in the gas, and Celtic never done that. There were too many years of Celtic being content. And then when Rangers came back under Steven Gerrard and they beat us in the cup final.
They beat us no, they didn't actually beat us. They beat us at New Year, I'm pretty sure, at Celtic Park.
And that's when the board realised that they had to get
the board pretty much. Then we went to Dubai, then we come back, played the two up front and stuff like that, and it worked. And the board got away with it.
And then Missa left.
Then lockdown obviously struck. And then I don't even want to talk about the following season, to be perfectly honest, but
that was a nightmare.
It was an absolute
one word that needs to describe that season. Shane Duffy.
It was a shit show.
Shane Duffy.
But I don't want to get too much of a tangent, but I just think the Celtic board, I think fans are really getting sick of it now. I think there's in terms of European ambition, I completely get it's harder for clubs like Celtic and obviously Rangers, just Scottish teams in general, to do it
because of the shite TV deal basically.
To do it in Europe now, because not even just a TV deal, football is so far apart for clubs like now, because you've now got states owning clubs and things like that, so it's going to get really hard for Celtic and Rangers to compete. But if you look at the group, the two groups that Celtic have had in the Champions League the last 2 years, obviously this season we had Atletico Madrid, Feyenoord and Lazio. Celtic could have maybe no qualified.
Should have got third.
Could have got third. You look at the season before with Real Madrid. Who else was it?
Real Madrid,
Leipzig and
Shakhtar Donetsk.
We basically didn't finish third because we couldn't finish the chances. And I hear the same phrase being branded a lot when it comes to like European matches at Celtic. Oh, but we played well. So
that's like the wee football nerds that go into like XG. XG doesn't mean anything.
Care.
Put the ball in the back of the net. That's the goal of the football.
And it's like it's terrible because it does my absolute.
See big Philip Clement coming out after the Rangers game saying we had more chances. Who cares? It just shows our team's no clinical. You need to put the ball in the back of the net to win a game of football. It's irrelevant.
Mate, we'll become an obsessed Rangers podcast, man. Anyway, no, but I don't know where to go with the board, to be honest. I think, and this is the main thing for me, is we wouldn't be having this discussion if we'd done our job in the summer properly.
Yeah. I mean, you need to look at it as well, you know. Rodgers, as much as we're saying Rodgers needs to be back, Rodgers' style hasn't been good enough this season either. I believe
it's been boring.
Things,
but I think we've really, and I'm hoping the three results New Year, obviously against Dundee, Rangers and St Mirren, can really kick his own now. Obviously we're game tomorrow, so getting back into the league business. Obviously Bucky Thistle game, there's not even a point talking about that. It was just a kind of formality of the Bucky Thistle game. But
to move us on though, because I think we're talking in circles about the board, moving on to more about the match tomorrow, Saturday, what do you expect for a Celtic team?
It might sound very simple, but 3 points and not a good.
You would expect to win in a style, though, no?
A good performance. I think we need to come at the traps kind of quickly, because we need to come out and get a few goals.
As much as Rodgers talks about this Celtic team's mentality, do you really think players are playing for the badge and understand the magnitude of Celtic?
I don't think you really need. You're playing Ross County and stuff.
No. My point is though that I think too many players get comfortable.
There's certain players, and the players who are comfortable are the players that probably shouldn't beat Celtic anymore.
Yeah. Because I feel that Lewis Palmer deserves to be dropped.
But his
Personally,
stats, if you look at his stats,
I know, but he's just it's the same thing. He's lazy.
but Lewis Palmer is going to be that type of player. He's going to he might not track back and do it like Maida does. Because if you look on the other side, you've got Maida, brilliant tracking back, but his end product at times is woeful.
That's why he's at Celtic.
So this is the thing. This is where I will kind of add a bit of more balance to the whole bringing players in debate. And I've heard that a lot about players like Maida. The reason he's at Celtic, and this is no disrespect to him because he's brilliant. He does what he does. His pressing's the best thing I've ever seen at Celtic, to be honest.
It's up there in world football. It's got to be.
It's ridiculous, but the reason he's at Celtic is because he's end product, and I think that's the same with Palmer, because Palmer, he's got the stats, and because he's got goals and assists that are actually quite good this season.
Over 10 goals already.
And I think that's, people don't look at that, I think. But I think it's just, that's how you're going to get it, Celtic. That's kind of the main thing.
I suppose it's consistency, but at the same time, you've got to look at it and go, I feel like it's too many times he cuts in, just loses it, puts that. The one thing that frustrates me with Palmer the most is, see when he takes a corner and tries to shoot, it does man nothing.
Maybe do that when you're 4-0 up or something, but
exactly.
No, when you're 0-0, man, it can, depending on how you're annoyed you are with the game, it can do my head in it can do my head in as well, really. But I just want to see a good performance with Celtic. That's really all I want to see.
Right, predicted 11 for the game on Saturday. We'll do it one each if you agree.
Joe Hart obviously can go. Johnston right back.
Would you notice he might switch to a 3 back?
I don't think he will, because I've not really played with that. He may well, but I'm just going to go with what we normally play, which is obviously the 4-3-3.
Yeah.
I think right back, Alistair Johnson. If we're talking about it, I think Ralston's only really playing if Johnson's either injured or whatever, but
Alistair Johnson hasn't been good enough this season either.
The thing is with Alistair Johnson, I think you need to put that into consideration. Some of the people he's had in front of him, but
true, but there's no excuse for some of the things I've seen from him as well. I
think he's improved. He's improved.
Oh no, he's improved.
Aye.
They've had a period for about a month where he was rank.
I think players that's another thing. You try and look at players are always going to get that periods. With the best players in the world, they get the same. Well, they're not as good as they usually are. So, I think Johnston.
So we can agree: Hart, Johnson, Scales,
and right.
He's been talking a lot about Big Mike, but
I honestly think he's going to play Minoki. I don't. He doesn't trust Bernabeu. In fact, that's just a common fact. Bernabeu would have played games.
Oh wait, so are you going Naroki over Scales?
But Scales goes to left back.
I think we start Bernabeu left back.
I just think Bernabeu's run out of chances for me, and when we signed Bernabeu, I was quite
buzzing.
Not buzzing, but I was intrigued to see, because obviously first player for Argentina we signed and stuff like that. So, but it's just not worked out.
This is what's annoying about Bernabeu, right? He just, see if you could put a bit of Bernabeu and Taylor, and a bit of Taylor and Bernabeu.
Exactly.
That's
my left back, but it's just that's the problem at the left back position. We've got one who's okay at attacking. People say Bernabeu's good at attacking, but he'll put 1 in 10 crosses in, and one will be decent.
He's got a really good delivery though. You can clearly see that.
He's obviously got pace, but it's just defensively he's awful.
But I think I don't see him dropping Scales. So
I think Scales will go left back.
Scales is going to play either way. If Scales doesn't go left back, he's going to go centre back. But I don't think Mike Naroki deserves to get dropped.
I think
is it worth playing Vickers tomorrow against Ross County?
I think he's had the winter break off, so I would imagine that Vickers would be fresh and ready. But Rodgers has said that he would be back for this game anyway. So
Rodgers said Nicholas and CCV would both be involved.
Yeah, honestly, I think Kuhn could have been involved last week, but
we'll get on to Kuhn.
Rodgers just said that he wasn't playing because I don't think he wanted to play in the Bucky Thistle game, if I'm being perfect.
Getting his teeth done.
Aye, which was Celtic as usual, signing players that no 100% fit. But
it's his teeth.
Aye, exactly. So I think it'll be your Hart and your back four. You're just your norm, apart from obviously Taylor being shot out and the Rocky obviously.
To touch on Taylor a bit more, do you think Taylor gets unwanted or unnecessary criticism or over criticised for Celtic fans? Including me, I over criticise him when stuff that isn't his fault. He's just an easy target, I think, for a lot of Celtic fans.
Well, I've got my mate's very good at that. Especially Joe Hart, he'll basically just criticise everything. So I don't know. I think it's certain players, and I'm guilty of it as well. Like you'll just criticise them for the sake of criticising them when they've not really done much.
Yeah, easy target.
But I still think Taylor's. There has been some times where he's just going forward. He's just awful.
You know, it's like Palmer delivers a good ball into Taylor, but Taylor just can't put a cross in the byline, or like he turns back because he's too nervous to actually take the shot.
I think because people keep saying to me, "Oh, but he's better than inverted role." But what does that mean? Like what does that mean? Because
does it mean he's better as a midfielder then?
Exactly. It's kind of obviously under Ange, but he looked decent with the inverted fullbacks.
I think people were still saying under Ange that we need a.
But this I know we did, but still, because Bernabeu wasn't good enough back then either. So this is what I'm trying to get on.
Ange shouldn't even put Bernabeu in the squad.
Aye, this is what I'm trying to like when I talk about. I don't want to go back to recruitment again, like show that again, but briefly, that's what I'm trying to get on about. These players are needing replaced for I don't know how long. It's not like it's just been we've needed a left back since probably last January. That's the thing.
What's really disappointing is I was against this appointment of Rodgers, right? See when he came in, and you know what I thought right, with this current team is the best team I've seen in years, and I thought Rodgers as a coach can develop this into some lethal force with a couple players, get a few players going, all that, but it's just went complete polar opposite.
And he still can. We can, and I know we're talking about this, and we're still sitting top of the league and whatever, but which is obviously good. We've won.
The league should be far gone.
The league should have been far gone. We've dropped points that. I'm not saying Celtic should win every game, of course I'm not, but you know, I look at the performance against Hearts at home, man, that was one of the worst performances I've ever seen for a Celtic team.
And see, not to get into it too much, but see the hassle getting there with the trains as well, and all that, to watch that is just, it's a bit insulting, to be honest.
So I think with Taylor, going back to the point, because I'm off on a bit of a tangent there, but I think with Taylor, I think maybe some of it is unwanted, but some of it is very merited because it's.
You need a certain standard.
There's a standard there, and when people keep saying to me, he's better than inverted role, but we signed him as a fullback. That's what his job is. He's a fullback.
3 million for Kilmarnock.
So they made ball and going all the same window.
Aye. Moving on to midfield though.
Midfield.
I'd say O'Reilly, McGregor and Bernardo.
Aye, because I was going to say Atati there, but I forgot he's on international duty.
Played the full game for Japan.
It'll be interesting when he comes back to see if he does get into the team.
Bernardo's looked incredible. He does, and Atati, when he played for Celtic this season, doesn't look like he deserves to start.
It's funny enough when we talk about, because Atati has been on his quality, but he brings a certain level of pace that his quality he's got the kind of pace. He's not rapid, but
he's not rapid, but he'll drive the game on, and that's what this Celtic midfield lacks.
He comes back because obviously we've now got Bernardo there,
who's been magnificent.
O'Reilly you can't drop. He's the best midfielder in Scotland right now.
No, McGregor's still the best.
I think so. I just think right now
McGregor has done it for 7-8 years.
I think but right now I think Matt O'Reilly's just he's
Celtic team with McGregor though. Celtic don't flow the same with McGregor.
No, I do.
McGregor's pivotal, that leadership.
That together.
Exactly. When times are tough, we depend on
and
McGregor.
That's another problem as well there. We've never really got a backup. I know Awaz.
Exactly. This team's crying out for a Victor Wanyama type
It's been
player.
crying out for that for years, and it's never.
Even mind when Andrews here and we tried to get that Vinicius Souza. I think that was his name.
It's a bit but back midfield 3 McGregor, Aurelio Bernardo for me, and then front 3. This is interesting here.
It's Kyogo, Palmer.
Kyogo and Palmer, I think.
Abada.
I don't think he'll play.
He'll put Kuhn on the bench. I think Kuhn will probably come on for 15-20 minutes.
Maybe for 2-3. I think Kuhn will come on, get him a few minutes. I don't think he'll play him from the start.
Aye.
So I think it will be Kyogo, Palmer and Abada up front. So I think I just want to see Celtic just
go out with
good
intent.
performance, and want to see a few goals, just and like keep going with the league. We need to start putting a form together. That's the main thing.
I'm sick of hearing the commentators say, "Oh, Celtic are going through the motions. Celtic are going through the motions." I want Celtic to come out in gear, ready to win the game, because that's what Celtic should be doing. We should be dominating every team in the league.
Because you're at the point now where the season. This is the main bit of the season. This is
business end. It's a business.
You've not got any after next week. You've not got any opportunity to sign players.
You have is what
come February 1st. You're going to have whatever Celtic have signed. Hopefully another striker by next week, and God can only help from left back. But I don't see that happening.
There'll be 2 loan signings at the end. They won't be a permanent.
That you've only got that squad, so Celtic really need to put a run together, because obviously that first part of the season, it was a bit weird. I didn't know how.
It was a weird vibe on it. It was a bit like one week we were all praising Rodgers, the next week we were all lambasting.
So like, for instance, we beat Rangers at Ibrox, a Brodge ball, all this crap, and then
you've been brodged.
You've been brodged. and then we get draw against Motherwell.
Exactly.
At home, and you're a bit like.
And then I think after that we got beat by Hearts.
Then we get beat obviously by Hearts.
That was the worst game.
Obviously drew with St Johnstone. I wasn't even at that game, but.
See, watching that St Johnstone game, man, oh my God, it was.
I don't know what was it, to be honest, but you need to put a consistent run, because obviously there was a lot made of at the start of the season that there was only, I think December was the 3 games before they went a break. In fact, was the first time a Celtic team had went 3 games in the league and wins.
I want to talk about that winter break. Actually, it came out obviously recently that there won't be any winter break next season, and Rodgers was very critical of the players' schedule, because they're not robots, they're humans.
Aye.
What's your opinion on that one?
I get both sides of it, because I get the fan side that they just want to keep. I thought you know, and I'll know myself. Like the 2 weeks when football was on, it was
twiddling your thumbs.
You were just sitting in your arse saying fuck all pretty much. But so I think I can see both sides. It's a difficult one, because I can see where Rodgers.
You need time for your play.
Talks a lot about obviously rest and recuperating for the players, but at the same time, if I'm looking at being selfish here in the fans' perspective here, I just want to watch football. That's pretty much
right. I mean, but the counteract argument to that is the fact where that week as a coach means that you've got time to develop your ideas, develop your plans, show your team what you think they need to improve on, implement more of your style. And that's why I think if you rest and recuperate players, that can only be a benefit. It saves injuries, it's freshness. If not for this winter break, we'd still have to wait another 2-3 weeks for Vickers.
That's what I'm trying to. I think that's.
And McGregor obviously wouldn't get a rest. Think about the boys that play internationally as well. You know, it's a cluster of games, and my dad always makes the argument that the football players should be able to play 90 minutes for 3 days. Well, a 3-day break, 2-day break, but it's not like that. I mean, think about the amount of mileage these people run as well in the game. Miles, you know, I don't know. I think it's becoming a bit embarrassing. It's all about money now, innit? And like Champions League, 10 games I think instead of the usual group stage. 10 games.
So it's 5 5 at home, then 5 away.
And obviously you're taking that winter break away, so
there's got to be a lot of games because the Champions League next season runs. Going off Football Manager here, but it runs to about the end of January, I'm pretty sure.
Exactly.
So,
and then obviously January, right after that, you should have the winter break, but you don't.
Because I think obviously you looked, remember like last season because you had the break midway through with the World Cup and stuff like that. I think it was brought in kind of late last season during, obviously because once we come back for the World Cup break, games are just getting crammed.
Yeah. I mean, and that's where it's hard, not just for Celtic, but it's hard for other teams to maintain a standard, because at Celtic you expect good quality football week in, week out, and if players are playing,
should be winning every game.
Exactly, and
that's a lot of pressure. Exactly,
and if players are playing that amount of times a week, then how do you expect to maintain the same standard?
I don't, as I said, but I don't really know. I've not really got an answer for it. I think it's going to be one of these things you're only going to know when it gets when it happens next season. Really, but you
talk about it as like a fan view, right? But let me ask you this, right? If you were the manager, right, and you've got the opportunity to develop your ideas with that week off and recuperate players that haven't had a rest in a while, when you're a manager, you will realise that week to implement your ideas and show the final detail of what your team can improve on can do the world of good.
I know, I do get that. I think it's a valid point. That's what I'm like. It's difficult because there's arguments to both sides of it, but I don't know. I just want football back. Really, it's.
I know, struggle.
I think the winter break as well because for Celtic came at a completely the wrong time for me.
Exactly, we built
Celtic
momentum.
were finding form and then winter break comes. You're like,
hopefully we don't play negative tomorrow. Hopefully we come out. I'm expecting.
We need to come out because Ross County are know that
they've got their new manager, haven't they?
He's just an absolute tosser, to be perfectly honest. But not Ross County podcast, so I'm not going to sit and talk about. But I think we need to just come out and put them obviously under pressure.
Couple goals early.
I think Rangers play early in the day, I'm pretty sure.
They played yesterday.
Obviously that was their game in Horn, I'm pretty sure.
They played yesterday. They play St Mirren tomorrow at 12:30.
Is it 12:30?
At 12:30. So that'll be interesting.
Because then
St Mirren have been on form.
We'll know the result by obviously 3 o'clock as well. So,
are you concerned about Rangers this season?
They found form under Clement. I'll give them that.
They found a mentality. I think it wasn't really form.
The thing is, it couldn't have got any worse under Beale. But I think I've kind of stayed the same. Really, I've always said Celtic focus on themselves. Celtic get the results. The league's won, and Celtic win the league. I know it sounds simple. I know it's simple, but that's
Celtic shouldn't lose any games for here on out.
Both teams are going to drop points. That's the fact. Rangers will drop points, Celtic will drop points, but Celtic just need to focus themselves. I try and know me personally. I just focus on Celtic, and I think if Celtic win, basically Celtic win the rest. I know it sounds like really simple again, but Celtic win the rest of their games, they win the league.
Exactly.
But that's not a league. Football would be easy if that's how it works. That's not how it works half the time. So
it was interesting when Celtic were obviously initially going through their dip of form. People like yourself, you said that Rangers could be in with a shout, and I was very disregarding of it. Like, no, this was when we were at 8 points, and I'm like, nah, absolutely no chance. But then it just shows how quick football can change.
They are definitely in with a shout now, I think, because we're in a title race when last time we shouldn't have been in a title race.
How many managers have been after Rodgers? And none have succeeded. So Big Clement is the next on that list.
So, but I just kind of over the next week in terms of Celtic, I'm hoping and praying that there is some story we don't know about that we're bringing players in, but it shouldn't have got to this point. We shouldn't be waiting on deadline day for signings. I just think it's.
Celtic fans might also not be used to the fact that Ange was like rapid. Like Ange would get his signings in the first week, 2 weeks of the window. Rodgers has always been a sort of slow process manager. Always to take his time. So is that just the difference in managerial styles? Does Rodgers need to push for it more?
I know there was a phrase being branded about it, which I find quite interesting. Somebody I was talking to, honestly, somebody, I think, basically, and I've heard it quite a lot, other podcasts have said it as well. My worry is that we might have got Rodgers Mark II, which is pretty much Brendan Rodgers, but no Brendan Rodgers the first time. Brendan Rodgers the first time would push for stuff.
We're not getting Gucci belt Rodgers.
Right,
We're getting the Rodgers that just accepts, I think. And Rodgers is a type of manager where give him the resources, he will provide.
No, he will.
But we're just not giving him that opportunity.
But we're also giving him James McCarthy. So
exactly.
But and then obviously get the result tomorrow. That's the main thing as well, and just kind of keep going on in the league. Also got the next film the next podcast next Friday. We'll see how the situation kind of lies with signings. But after Ross County, we've got 2 difficult away days coming up again with Hibs and Aberdeen. So I think it's a big but every month's big for Celtic. But it's just a bit annoying it's been left to the last minute, but for any signings to come in. Aye. But I just think that it's January windows are annoying because you look at, obviously, I know, and I get it's difficult, and I get that, but I just think Celtic don't help themselves because the main issue with we've seen more news about outgoings to have potential incomings, which isn't great.
Yeah, I mean, you see obviously the potential threat of Abada also leaving on loan, obviously linked to O'Reilly. There's so many players at Celtic I think that just shouldn't be there.
Aye.
You know, you've got your players like McCarthy, like Bernabe, you know, Lagerbielke, who when Rodgers was talking about the centre half options yesterday, he mentioned Welsh instead of Lagerbielke, skipped over Lagerbielke.
I think Lagerbielke.
Is that saying that Lagerbielke?
I think Lagerbielke is very short career, and this could be famous last words, but I don't think there's a future for Lagerbielke at Celtic. I just think, and this is.
I hope he's wrong, and I hope when Lagerbielke scores about 10 goals a season, becomes the world's best centre half this club's played.
I was wrong because I was wrong about Liam Scales, so I hope I'm wrong.
Ginger Maldini.
I hope I'm wrong, obviously, but it just. There was obviously links for him at the start of the window, got Italy, and that's kind of calmed down.
Girona, wasn't it, when Tottenham signed...
It was that...
I can't pronounce his name.
What was that team? Oh, Jesus. I think it was Genoa. Some Italian team.
It was a team that Tottenham signed that big Romanian centre-half.
So... But who knows, man, because it's in terms of, He's gone. I just don't think they've been able to find. That's been the problem as well. We've no moved anybody on.
Yeah, well, we've moved the Kwon, and obviously Adam Montgomery wasn't here in the first place. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see the end of the window. But I think I'd be happy with a striker, left back. But I don't think our left back will come in. But I think number one priority should be a striker.
Hellas Verona were interested in him as well. So were Girona and Lecce, the 3 teams that were interested in him. So, but I don't see it happening. Obviously there was the links with Rocco Vater as well. Who knows?
Bologna,
I think Como and CDB were all interested in him as well. So, who knows? But
Juventus
were looking, I think, near last season, I think.
They were also sniffing him, weren't they?
I think a lot of Italian teams are looking at, he's not Scottish, he's Irish technically, but...
Half at Italy went in Rocco.
But I think it's because they're looking at quality in the Scottish League, because you look at Lewis Ferguson and stuff like that, it has worked really, Aaron Hickey.
Calvin Ramsey, Ben Doak.
But... I just to kind of end off, what do you think your score prediction will be for tomorrow?
Score prediction, you see, I think Ross County will come first half.
Sit back, whatever.
I think it'll take about 30 minutes, and I think O'Reilly will play a nice incision pass, and I think Kyogo will get an end of it, and I think the score will end up 3-0.
3-0. I'm gonna say 3-0 as well. I think it'll be a
Copy.
good performance, and good performance, and that's just kind of what I want. And if good performance, result, and up the road pretty much.
Yeah, I hope we can only
Trust the Broad.
Trust the Broad.
But so I think 3-0, good result, and that'll be it. But that's the end for the day's podcast, and I'll be back tomorrow with a post-match reaction after the game, and we'll be back on our podcast next Friday. Until then, hail hail.
See you later.